Kia ora e te whānau, and welcome back to episode 17 of Mind Your Buzzness with me, Andy G. I don't know why I'm doing that, but thank you very much for watching. So, I've got 5 2-litre containers full of wax to melt. And that's what we're going to do in this episode, the second time I've ever melted down or rendered the wax that I've got from the hive. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. I'm sure there might be a couple of learnings still to go just to get the perfect meltdown. But I'm excited. Let's do it. You lucky thing, she got yourself a commentary for this one because I didn't actually do a lot of talking on this particular episode. So what you're seeing here is 5 2-litre ice cream containers just full of Burcomb and wax from the cappings when I extracted the honey from the frames. So it's time to melt it down and see what I can get out of these 5 containers. Quite a good mix of wax, some of it quite old. Well, I say old. Not really old because I only got started in November, but it's sort of the older stuff that I've been holding on to, and it's only the second time as well that I have melted down wax. So trying a few new things this time as well. So what you're watching here is me actually scraping all of it into a bucket that I actually use to wash my car, and a mesh bag with a drawstring that my wife let me have, which is one of a few that we use to get vegetables from the supermarket to save on plastic bags, right? So I thought, well, that's a perfect little thing. Now, the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing here is because, as you can see, I'm now filling it with water, because what I want to do is wash it and get as much of the honey out of it as I can. This is just something I've thought about doing this time. So I'll wash it 3 times over, dunk it a few times and try and get as much out of it as I can. And then when I go off screen, what I'm actually doing is saving that water, because there is actually a lot of honey in that water, so I'm just saving it, putting it into a different container, so that at some point I can actually use it to feed the bees if I need to in winter. So sort of just giving back to them, really. So this is like the second wash, and it was definitely making a difference. It's something I thought I'd try this time, which I haven't done before. So here's the third wash now. We'll just dunk it a few times, try and give a bit of a squeeze out, and then off to the barbecue to melt it down. So because I'm only so new to this and I started in November, I started small. I still am small, so I've only got small pots and pans that I got from a second-hand shop. So I'm going to have to do this in 2 lots. It's quite a sludgy mess to start with, but as it melts then I'll just give it a wee stir and just try and get some of the harder stuff on the top and just turn it over. And as you can see, it's already melting quite nicely underneath. So as I say, it's a sludgy mess, so still needs a couple more filters. It does smell good. It's a very unique smell. It's a smell you'll probably never smell unless you beekeep. So I had the 2 burners going, and I did have to kill one of the burners because it was just a bit too much. It was over boiling, and trust me, when this stuff gets onto the flames get a little bit bigger. Oh, you can smell the honey on that. Absolutely could. As I say, quite a unique smell. It was very nice. So I've got a little non-stick pan here in the middle, which is a bit smaller, so I couldn't fit all of that into it. And there's a bee that's coming to have a look, which is quite cool because they just sense this stuff, don't they? So when I pull this this filter out now, have a look at it and all the stuff that it actually pulls out just on the first filtration alone. It's quite amazing just how much stuff was in there. So it's a non-stick pan. There's a bit left in the original pan. So I'm just going to use that for the second lot, which I'm putting in now. And then the second lot is about the same as the first lot that I just melted down. Yep, wash, rinse, repeat. Fill it with water, bring it to the boil, melting it down again, giving it a wee stir, and then filtering it down. This is a bit of a time lapse of it starting to cool down a little, but there's not a lot to see here. So for this second filtration here, as I say, because I've started small, I've got a frying pan for this one, and I've got a second frying pan which the rest of it goes into. But as you can see, still a lot of rubbish comes out of it.
Special guest just coming to check things out.
Yeah, so Bumblebee came and had a look as well. So second frying pan down, all non-stick ones that no longer really work for the kitchen. So I got express permission from my wife to use them, because once you use something for wax, you're not getting them back. So there you go, satisfying filter. More rubbish removed. And now this is another time lapse, but you don't see a heck of a lot here. It takes a while to cool down. There is a time lapse coming up that you're going to love.
Alright, so it's day 2 now, and these have all hardened quite nicely. So we'll take them out of these. That's not a big thick one. But we'll take them out and melt them down again and refilter. Right, so here's all the wax. Hardened. Still needs a little bit of a clean, because there's still a bit of residue underneath. But that's fine. We'll give it another melt down, we'll give it another filter, and we should be good to start turning it into blocks. Not the cleanest, but that doesn't matter. We're going to use this to put this pan in, so it just melts the wax on its own. Sounds like a good old fry up, doesn't it? So now we'll just let this wax melt and then we can filter it again.
So this is a time lapse I quite like, and this is the same concept as melting down chocolate. So you actually sit another pan inside a boiling pan of water so that you're not mixing the two together, so really you're just getting wax completely separate from the water.
This wax is all now melted, and as you can see floating on the top, there's quite a few bits of things that got through the first filtration. So what I'm going to do is just use an old piece of gauze filtering material just to scrape off this random stuff now before I do another filtration. So you can see there that there's a fair bit of crap in there. I've got a couple of bits here that I can use. So yeah, there's a few yuckies in there. There's quite a bit at the bottom too. So we'll see what I can just get out of it, just to make this next filtration easier and a bit less messy. Now last time I did this, I learnt a lesson, and that lesson was to get a jug, because I made a bit of a mess. Obviously the less mess we can make, the better. Don't know if this will be any better or not, but we're about to find out. seems to be doing the trick.
And it was 100% better. 100%. Less mess, more accurate, good result.
How good's that? Now the OCD in me says that I need to maybe take some from here. And top this one up. There we go.
And
Now
this is
we
my
let them dry.
favourite time lapse. Watch this. Amazing patterns that it dries in, right? How good.
6 beautiful blocks of wax. I'm very happy. Look at these. How good. Now, I said at the beginning of the video that there may be a few learnings, and there are. The learning, I think, is to filter a bit more, but on top of that as well is to, I'll show you an example. Underneath this block here, you can see there's a cavity where there was some water. Now, water has got into the wax at some point, and I'm thinking that's when I'd drained the blocks after I'd done the first melt. I didn't dry them, and I think I need to dry them properly because some of the water transferred over, so it leaves these funny little marks. But at the end of the day, these are only for being used to put foundation onto new plastic frames, or maybe even to make candles out of. So in theory, it can be melted down again, so it's not the end of the world, but that is the perfectionist in me, right? So now, from the previous melting video, I've still got the 4 that I got from that, plus the 6, so 10 of these beautiful blocks of wax, and they just look stunning, out of these 5 containers. I thought I was going to get a hell of a lot more, but 6 is better than none. So thank you very much for watching. Yes, I've got some more learnings to take from it. And here's something for the next episode, episode 18. The courier came today and dropped off some of this. It's called ApiGuard. And it is for honeybees only, which is a good thing, I suppose. But it is for Varroa, because unfortunately, I found a couple of mites in the hive. So in the next episode, we'll apply these and we'll get those Varroa out. Unwanted guests not paying rent. Anyway, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Comment as usual and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you for the next episode where we get rid of those unwanted guests.